Bonjour. Bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue au spectacle. My name is Hosein Leong and I want to welcome everyone on this Little Prince, the musical journey. Now, this program would not have been made possible without the amazing help from the Embassy of France in Singapore. And we would like to also thank the Braddell Heights Symphony Orchestra for being here with us and performing this beautiful piece. We would like to thank our festival sponsors, Bolloré Logistics CIC, our venue sponsor, our partner, Singapore Chinese Cultural Centre, our hologram partner, Art Media, and we are supported by Electronics and Engineering Private Limited, the National Arts Council, and Wow Bistro. Now, before we begin this journey, I would like to invite everyone to kindly turn off your mobile devices, as well as there's no photography nor videography allowed, okay? So we just want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy this journey with us. And to bring us on this journey, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome on stage our soloist for this show, Miss Clara Chernat. And we have the composer of this magnificent piece here with us on piano, Monsieur Thierry Huillet. And to bring us on this musical journey, Maestro Chan Wei Shing.
When I was 6 years old, I had a book on rainforests called True Stories from Wildlife. In it, there was an amazing drawing of a snake swallowing an animal whole. Here's what it said in the book. Boa constrictors swallow the prey completely whole without chewing at all. Afterwards, they can't even move, and in order to digest what they have eaten, they have to sleep for a whole 6 months. I thought long and hard about all this and managed to draw a picture of a snake in color pencils. It was my first ever drawing. I showed my masterpiece to some grown-ups and asked them if my drawing frightened them. But they answered, "Frighten? Why should a picture of a hat frighten us?" My drawing was not a picture of a hat. It was a picture of a boa constrictor digesting an elephant. But since the grown-ups were not able to understand it, I made another drawing. I drew the inside of the boa constrictor so that the grown-ups could see it clearly. Grown-ups never understand anything by themselves. And it is tiresome for children to be always and forever explaining things to them. That is why, at the age of 6, I gave up what might have been a magnificent career as a painter. So then I chose another profession. I learned to pilot aeroplanes. I lived my life alone without anyone that I could really talk to. Until I had an accident with my plane in the desert of the Sahara. That first night, I lay down to sleep on the desert, knowing I was thousands of miles from the nearest living person. I was even more alone than a shipwrecked sailor on a raft in the middle of the ocean. Thus, you can imagine my surprise at sunrise when I was awakened by an odd little voice. It said,
S'il vous plaît, dessine-moi un mouton. Draw me a sheep. No, no, no. I do not want an elephant inside a boa constrictor. A boa constrictor is very dangerous, and an elephant is very cumbersome. Where I live, everything is very small. J'ai besoin d'un mouton. Draw me a sheep. No, this one looks already very sick. Do me another. This is not a sheep. It is a ram. It has horns. No, this one is too old. I want a sheep that will live a long time.
This is only his box. The sheep you asked for is inside.
This is exactly the way I wanted it. Do you think this sheep will need to have a lot of grass? Because where I live, everything is very small. Look, he has gone to sleep.
And that was when I began to understand something at last about where this mysterious little fellow might have come from. So I asked him, "Do you come from another planet?" But he did not reply. He shook his head gently without taking his eyes from my plane. And he was lost in his own thoughts for a long time. Then, taking my sheep out of his pocket, he buried himself in the contemplation of his treasure. As each day passed, I would learn something about the little prince's planet, his departure from it, his journey. The information would come in dribs and drabs by chance as thoughts came to him. This was how, on the third day after we met, I heard about the terrible Baobab saga. Now, there were some terrible seeds on the planet that was home of the little prince, and these were the seeds of the Baobab tree. The soil of that planet was infested with them. A baobab is something you will never be able to get rid of if you attend to it too late. It spreads over the entire planet. It bores clear through with its roots, and if the planet is too small and there are too many baobabs, they will overwhelm and destroy the planet.
It is a question of discipline. First thing in the morning, you brush your teeth and you wash your face, don't you? Well, the second thing you must do is to look after the planet with the greatest care. You must see to it to regularly pull up all the baobabs at the very first moment that they can be distinguished from the rose bushes that can look a lot like them when they are young. It is very tedious work, but very easy. Sometimes there are no harm in putting off till tomorrow what should be done today. But when it comes to the baobabs, any delay is always a disaster. I knew of a planet that was inhabited by a lazy man. he neglected 3 little bushes.
Oh, little prince, bit by bit, I came to understand the secrets of your sad little life. For a long time, all you had for enjoyment was the beauty of sunsets. I only learned about this on the morning of the 4th day, when you said to me,
J'aime bien les couchers de soleil. Come, let us look at a sunset now.
But on your tiny planet, all you need to do is move your chair a little and you can see the day end and the twilight falling whenever you like.
One day, I saw the sunset 43 times. Tu sais, quand on est tellement triste, on aime les couchers de soleil.
On that day, when you saw 43 sunsets, were you still sad? The little prince did not answer. On the 5th day, again as always, it was thanks to the sheep. The secret of the little prince's life was revealed to me. Abruptly, without anything to lead up to it, and as if the question had been churning in his mind for a long time.
For millions of years, flowers have been growing thorns. And despite this, for millions of years, the sheep have been eating flowers just the same. Don't you think it worthwhile to try to understand why they should go to all that trouble to grow thorns if they don't serve a useful purpose? Is the warfare between the sheep and the flowers not important? If someone loves a flower, of which just one single blossom grows in all the millions and millions of stars, it is enough to make him happy, just to look at the star. He can say to himself, somewhere a flower is there. But if the sheep eats the flower, in one moment, all his stars will be darkened.
I took him in my arms and I rocked him. I did not know what to say to him. I felt awkward and blundering. I did not know how I could reach him, where I could overtake him. It is such a secret place, the land of tears.
J'aurais dû ne pas l'écouter. One never ought to listen to the flower. One should simply look at them and breathe their fragrance. Mine perfumed all my planet, but I did not know how to take pleasure in all her grace. This tale of claws, which disturbed me so much, should only have filled my heart with tenderness and pity. Je n'ai alors rien su comprendre. I ought to have judged by deeds and not by words. She cast her fragrance and her radiance over me. I ought to never have run away from her. J'aurais dû deviner sa tendresse derrière ses pauvres ruses. Flowers are so inconsistent, but I was too young to know how to love her.
I believe that for his escape, he took advantage of the migration of a flock of wild birds. On the morning of his departure, he put his planet in perfect order. And when he watered the flower for the last time and prepared to place her under the shelter of the glass globe, he realized that he was very close to tears. He found himself in the neighborhood of the asteroids 325, 326, 327, 328, 329, and 330. He began, therefore, by visiting them in order to add to his knowledge. The first of them was inhabited by a king. Clad in royal purple and ermine, he was seated upon a throne which was at the same time both simple and majestic.
Ah, here is a subject.
He did not know how the world is simplified for kings. For them, to them, all men are subjects.
Les grandes personnes sont bien étranges.
The second planet was inhabited by a conceited man.
I am about to receive a visit from an admirer.
For to conceited men, all other men are admirers.
The grown-ups are certainly very odd.
The next planet was inhabited by a drunk.
Que fais-tu là?
I am drinking
Pourquoi bois-tu?
so that I may forget.
Pour oublier quoi?
Forget that I am ashamed.
De quoi?
Ashamed of drinking.
The grown-ups are certainly very, very odd.
The fourth planet belongs to a businessman. Now, this man was so much occupied that he did not even raise his head at the little prince's arrival.
You own the stars?
Yes,
And what good does it do you to own the stars?
it does me the good of making me rich lah.
And what good does it do you to be rich?
It makes it possible for me to buy more stars.
How is it possible for one to own the stars? I myself own a flower that I water every day. I own 3 volcanoes that I clean out every week. And it is of some use to my volcanoes, and it is of some use to my flower that I own them. But you are of no use to the stars. mouse are really quite extraordinaire.
The fifth planet was very strange. It was the smallest of all. Now, there was just enough room on it for a street lamp and a lamplighter.
It may well be that this man is absurd. But he is not so absurd as the king, the conceited man, the businessman, and the drunk. Or at least his work has some meaning. When he lights his street lamp, it is as if he brought one more star to life, or one flower. When he puts out his street lamp, he sends the flower or the star to sleep. It is a beautiful occupation, and since it is beautiful, it is truly useful. Nevertheless, he's the only one of them all who does not seem to me ridiculous. Perhaps that is because he is thinking of something else besides himself. That man is the only one of them all whom I could have made my friend.
The sixth planet was 10 times larger than the last one. It was inhabited by an old gentleman who wrote voluminous books.
Quel est ce gros livre? Que faites-vous ici?
I am a geographer. A geographer is a scholar who knows the location of all the seas, rivers, towns, mountains, and deserts.
That is very interesting. Here at last is a man who has a real profession. do you advise me to visit now?
The planet Earth. It has a good reputation.
So, the seventh planet was the Earth. When the little prince arrived on the earth, he was very much surprised not to see any people. He was beginning to be afraid that he had come to the wrong planet. When a coil of gold, the color of the moonlight, flashed across the sand.
Ah, then there are no people on the earth?
This is the desert. There are no people in the desert. The earth is large.
Where are the men? It is a little lonely in the desert. You are a funny animal. You are no thicker than a finger.
But I am more powerful than the finger of a king.
You are not very powerful. You don't even have any feet. You cannot even travel.
I can carry you further than any ship could take you. Whomever I touch, I send back to the earth from whence they came. But you are innocent and true, and you come from a star. You move me to pity. You are so weak on this earth made of granite. I can help you. Someday, if you grow too homesick for your own planet, I can.
Oh, j'ai très bien compris. Qui es-tu?
I am a fox.
Come play with me. I'm so unhappy.
I cannot play with you. I am not tamed.
Ah, please excuse me. But what does that mean? Tamed?
It is an act too often neglected. It means to establish ties.
To establish ties?
Just that. To me, you are still nothing more than a little boy who is just like 100,000 other little boys, and I have no need of you. And you, on your part, have no need of me. To you, I am nothing more than a fox, like 100,000 other foxes. But if you tame me, then we shall need each other. To me, you will be unique in all the world. To you, I shall be unique in all the world.
I am beginning to understand. There is a flower. I think she has tamed me.
Please, tame me. Adieu. And now here is my secret. A very simple secret. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye.
L'essentiel est invisible pour les yeux.
It was now the 8th day since I had had my accident in the desert, and I was drinking the last drop of my water supply.
It is a good thing to have a friend, even if one is about to die. I, for instance, am very glad to have a fox as a friend. I'm thirsty too. Let us look for a well.
As the little prince dropped off to sleep, I took him in my arms and set up walking once more. As his lips opened slightly with the suspicion of half-smile, I said to myself again, what moves me so deeply about this little prince who is sleeping here is his loyalty to a flower, the image of a rose that shines through his whole being like the flame of a lamp, even when he is asleep. And as I walked on, I found a well at daybreak.
This water was indeed good for the heart. The men where you live raised 5,000 rows in the same garden, and they do not find in it what they are looking for. And yet, what they are looking for could be found in one single rose or in a little water. Mais les yeux sont aveugles. Il faut chercher avec le cœur. And at night, you will look up at the stars. Where I live, everything is so small that I cannot show you where my star is to be found. It is better like that. My star will be just one of the stars for you. And so, you will love to watch all the stars in the heaven. They will all be your friend. In one of the stars, I shall be living. In one of them, I shall be laughing. And so, it will be as if all the stars were laughing. When you look at the sky at night, you, only you, will have stars that can laugh. Tonight, you know, do not come. I shall look as if I was suffering. I shall look a little as if I were dying. It is like that. You know, it would be very nice. I too shall look at the stars. All the stars will be whales with a rusty belief. All the stars will put out fresh water for me to drink. Here it is. Let me go on by myself. Voilà, c'est tout.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Clara Charra, Mr. Thierry Huillet, and Maestro Chan Wei Shing with the Braddell Heights Symphony Orchestra. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for coming to this show. This is the first program of the vOilah France Singapore Festival. And there's so many programs that you can go and enjoy for adults, for children. We have gastronomy, we have the French Film Festival that's coming. This is the first international festival during this whole pandemic season. So thank you so much to Embassy of France for organizing this. On that note, I just want to wish all of you a very safe journey home. Please continue to stay safe and keep well. Thank you. Bon après-midi.